Hey guys, welcome back to Redeem Treasures. I'm Eve, and today's project is going to be something I've not tried before. It's not my idea. I got it from some other YouTuber. I'll try to find her video and let you know whose it is below. But it's really cute. I think it's going to be fun. I hope it's fun. I'm going to take this men's shirt. I want to try it on real quick to see if I need to make it smaller for me. Nope. Actually, I think it's going to work pretty good. I do want the sleeves shorter, though. So I get an idea, I kind of want the sleeve up here instead of way down here. But other than that, I'm going to change the collar. I'm going to rip this collar out. Actually going to rip out the seam where the collar is and pull this piece out. And then I'm going to cut off part of the bottom. So it's not going to be super cropped, clearly. I only need about 3.5 inches off the bottom. So I'm hoping it comes right about where my waistband usually ends. And then I'm going to use that piece to make a ruffled collar. So it won't be like this anymore. It'll be ruffled and it'll stand up a little bit. And I'll shorten the sleeves and let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to measure from the bottom of the sleeve to where my pinpoint is and get an idea of how much I want that to be moved up. And that comes to 6 inches roughly. Okay. So both sleeves are going to get, I might just do a roll and tack so that it's not a permanent thing necessarily instead of cutting it. I think I kind of like the idea of a rolled sleeve. But I might have to cut a little bit of it. Otherwise it's going to be like a quadruple roll to get it up there. I kind of like the way that looks though. I'm going to go sit on the couch for a while and pick out the seams through here so that I can pull this collar out and then create a ruffle collar with what I take off of the bottom. So let me go take care of the seams first, and then the sleeves. I don't know. I'm going to take care of that seam first because that's going to require me to sit down and chill out for a little bit. Okay, so I removed the collar to open that seam right up and remove the old collar. And then I went ahead and I rolled this up 3 times and I checked it, and it's not quite to where the pin is, but I think it'll work okay. And I don't know if I'm going to just roll it up and sew it or if I'm going to cut and sew it. It would be less bulky if I cut it, but I kind of like the rolled up look. I don't know, maybe I'll cut a little bit and then roll up just so it's not as bulky. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to button the shirt up, and I need to have 3.5 inches of a straight cut across here. So I watched a lot of videos on how to do this, and the one woman that I chose that I liked her technique did things a little differently than everybody else. She first cuts it off straight at the bottom and then does 3.5 inches up, and then she folds it in half, and that's what she puts in as the collar. So it doubles it up, so it gives you 2 front sides, both on the outside and against your neck, and it stands up better. It looks really, really cute. So I'm going to button this up, take off the bottom part so that it's even, and then measure up and take off my 3.5 inches. Alright, so I've laid this out, and I want to cut right here, or just above there, to take that swoop out so that I've got a straight piece. Ooh, that was loud, so sorry. So I'm going to put it just above the seam. I'm just going to cut this piece off. Okay, this is not working well. I need a longer ruler. I tried to get one of those aluminum 3-foot things at Lowe's. It was a cheap piece of crap. So I don't know where people are getting their nicer ones, but I really need a thicker, nice one of those long rulers to make this kind of stuff a lot easier. I'm just going to trim this off. So now this is even-ish. Okay, so now I need 3.5 inches up. And so I'm just going to measure 3.5 inches up from the bottom here. And I'm going to measure that all the way across. Whoops. Draw my line. I guess I could have done this for that first step, but so now I can cut that piece off. Forgot to see if there's a button on the other side that I was going to cut through, but luckily I'm not. So in order to make this collar, that's what I was cutting through. I need to cut that tag off, and I need to remove these little buttons. And then I am going to fold this in half, and the raw edge will go into where that collar area is, and then I'll pinch pleat all the way through. So it's the next day. I had to stain treat this little piece that came off the bottom of the shirt because I found a little bit of a stain on it, like what had originally been on the front of the shirt that I treated, but I didn't see this one originally. So anyway, it's all clean now. The stain is gone. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to fold this piece in half, and I'm going to iron it so that it stays in half a little bit easier, and it smooths it out. There's some wrinkles in it from me wringing it out and getting the stain out of there. I have found for stains that hot water, OxyClean, and just a little drizzle of Dawn dish soap gets almost everything out. It's a good little combination, and I let it soak for however long I forget about it. And then usually I put it in the washing machine and wash it after it's soaked. This I did not because I didn't want it to unravel. It did cross my mind to serge this first and then do the stain thing and wash it, but I decided not to. So I just stain treated it, and then I rinsed it out really well, and then I hung it up on our makeshift clothesline on our porch to dry overnight, basically. I love that this is 100% cotton because it irons very nicely and stays put once you iron it. Alright, there we go. So now it's folded in half. The raw edges will actually go down where the old collar used to be, and then this folded part will be the part that sticks up, so we don't have to finish edges at all. So let's go to the sewing machine and I'll show you how I'm going to attach it. So basically what we're going to do, I have a little C emblem on there for chaps, and I could put it on the inside. I mean, it may end up getting a pleat over it. You're not even going to see it. I guess it doesn't really matter. We're going to start where we had opened it up to let the other collar out. So there's going to be a little bit left right here before this collar actually starts, and that is fine. It actually, I think, gives it some breathing room and looks a little bit better. So I don't have to put this, like if I put this all the way down to the bottom of where that opens up, that's going to leave me only about that much. So where the other collar sat was just slightly in there, and so that'll leave me about that much. I'm sorry, the lighting's kind of funky because the window is right here. So I will start that, and then I'm just going to pinch pleat as I sew, and that will create my ruffle. I'm using a light blue for the bobbin because it'll match the collar better. And then I'm just using white for the top because the rest of the shirt is stitched in white. So let me change out my thread real quick and then I'll be right back. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I've done pinch pleats before, but not a whole lot of them. So, and not where I needed to fit what I have into a specific area. So I'm going to fold this collar piece in half and find the center. which is right there. And then I'm going to mark it. Mark where that is center. And then I'm going to go into the collar and do the same thing. Alright, so my center is right here. I'm going to line those up. Fairly close, it doesn't have to be exact. This gives me an idea of where I'm at center-wise. Okay, so I put those together. Now I could go ahead and pin this into here. And then find the center of this and the center of this and just pleat it that way, but I think that's going to be too many pins and I'll probably hurt myself. So the center pin will actually give me an idea of, okay, I need to make sure that I pleat all this together before I get to that center pin, and then the same for the other side. So we'll see how this goes. Like I said, it's the first time I've had to fit into a specific space when I pinch pleat. Usually I just pinch pleat until I'm done with what I'm doing and then snip off the extras. I don't want to have that whole shirt bunched up under where my sewing machine is at here, so I need to do it with the collar side in. Let's make sure this isn't twisted. Now the difficulty that I see ahead of me is trying to pinch pleat and put this inside of two pieces at the same time, but I can do it. I can do this and I will do it well. And I'm just gonna follow kind of where the old stitch line was from the other collar. I think that'll be fine. That'll give me kind of a place to eyeball, make sure I'm getting in there. I'm actually gonna go over where I left off, where I'd taken those stitches out, so that stitches don't come undone that were left there. Forward, back stitch. Alright, this is going to be a slow and tedious process, and that is okay. And the pleats can probably be better for them to go in different directions and not always go in the same direction. So I'm actually going to pleat over top of that button placket that's at the end there. Have issues where your machine doesn't want to go? I could use a new machine one of these days. This machine is actually, golly, at least, well, it's more than 20 years old. It's at least 25, I'm sure. Because my husband and I will be married for 20 years coming January of next year, and I had this long before he and I ever met. I bought this when Sears was still a thing. Alright, that turned out really nice. So there's the collar now. As I work on this more and more, my pleats will become more and more even. It's a little more pleated here where I ended than it is where I started, but once it's on, nobody's going to notice. It'll look really, really nice. So next up, we will need to hem the bottom of this shirt, but that's just basic. So the next thing I need to look at doing is how to do this sleeve. I definitely want it shorter. Rolling it 3 times gets it about to where that pin is. So I'm going to have to cut some of this extra off. And then I do like the rolled up look. So I will definitely roll the sleeve up and then sew it. And I don't think I'm just going to tack it. I think I'm just going to straight sew it, because a lot of times when you have shirts that you buy that have just like the 2 little tacks on it, this gets all stupid looking and everything. So I'm going to trim the sleeve down and then roll it up and sew around it, probably at top and bottom, make it look a whole lot nicer. And maybe I'll do a fun little zigzag stitch in the middle. Okay, so I ironed the sleeves and I cut one sleeve already. And I cut it at an angle because these sleeves are very angled at the shoulder. What I did was I tried to match up these seams that are on the arms, as well as the sleeves here at the edges. And it's a little wonky, but it really comes together fairly well because it seems to be a decently made garment. Even though Chaps isn't super expensive, it still isn't cheaply made. Okay, it's finished. So I decided I did not like a rolled up sleeve. It was just too bulky. It looked cool, the idea was great, but it was too bulky. So I went ahead and I serged the edge so that it wouldn't fray, and then I just folded it under once to keep that light and airy in there. And the collar, I love the ruffle. I think it looks great, but I was hoping it would stand up a little bit better. Oh, I guess it's not too bad. I don't know, it tends to want to flop down or out a little bit. And I know that the weight of the shirt has a lot to do with it. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that my hair is kind of pushing it down as well, because this goes up pretty high for me. So yeah, I guess that's alright. Before, when I was wearing it, I had it kind of like this. And so yeah, it's going to spread out further, which I think it would be kind of cool to do that, but then continue the ruffle down like this. So it would spread out and you'd have this ruffle that spreads out and comes down to the V. So the ruffle is cute. Look at that little ruffle. Isn't it adorable? I absolutely love it. I mean, I like the size of the ruffle, but for me, it just, I don't know, my hair gets in the way. Because it goes up past my hairline in the back. So I feel like if I wore this, I'd have to wear my hair up. Which is okay. I usually do have my hair back, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway. And then what I decided to do was I went and I purchased some ribbon. Yes, I had to purchase it because I did not have any ribbon on me. But I purchased the red ribbon, and when I sewed the bottom, instead of just doing a seam, I left a little channel in there so a ribbon could go through. And then I really like this where it ties at the bottom and kind of cinches in the waist a little bit. I think it's really, really cute. Now what I'll probably do is I'll go back in, make sure the ribbon is not twisted, and then in the very back I'm just going to put a straight stitch a couple times on the back so that A, the ribbon doesn't get super twisted, and B, whenever you wash it, the ribbon doesn't just disappear out of the shirt. So I do have that left to do, but other than that, I think it's cute. I think it's ready to wear for this Memorial weekend. It's so adorable. And 4th of July. Oh, it's cute. So I do have other shirts to experiment on. Hold on. So I have these 3 shirts I was going to do the same thing with. Which this one is a little heavier weight, so I'll probably do the same type of ruffle collar and just see how it falls down. And just see if this one will stand up a little bit better. I may even shorten this a little bit. I mean, I like the amount of ruffle that's on it, but hitting my hairline doesn't help. So this one will probably be ruffled, and then I'll do something possibly with the sleeves, although these don't seem as long as what the originals on this one did. And this one, oh no, I was thinking it was straight cut across the, well, it is almost straight cut across the bottom already. So yeah, I'll probably try that again with the same style of collar. And then this one, which is about the same thickness as that one. Look at that pattern, isn't that cute? This would work well for 4th of July as well. Just wear like a red cami underneath and wear it open. But the sleeves are kind of funky on this one. Look at that. It's like this weird little double sleeve thing. I'm not sure what that's all about, but we'll probably get rid of it. Anyway, so I might choose to do the ruffle that goes down further on this one. My only issue is, will I have enough material? I may have to pull material from something else that matches this color-wise, but not necessarily pattern, obviously. And then piece it together to elongate that ruffle. Or maybe incorporate the original collar into it, but I don't know if that would even be enough. But, so I've got that one I can mess with. And then this one is long sleeved. So I can do the ruffle collar with that. Kind of halfway not wanting to though. Look, I think it's a vintage piece. Look at that label. I don't know. But this one's really cute. It's got one of those patterns that you have to really get up close to see it, because it almost makes it look textured. So there's that one. And then there's another one, but I'm not sure if I want to cut into it. It's a really gorgeous shirt, but I'm not sure. I don't know what it's. I mean, it's a men's shirt. Would a man just wear this? I don't see why not. I think it's beautiful. It's got the little woody wagons on it from like the 60s with the surfboards and stuff. But this would be such a cute shirt to put the ruffle collar on and shorten the sleeves and just... It is so cute. The little hibiscus flowers. 100% cotton, wrinkle free. I don't know how they do that, but you know. So I don't know. I don't know. Will I regret cutting this? Would I regret reselling it and not refashioning it for myself or to sell as a refashion? I don't know. Tell me, what should I do with this? What do I do with this gorgeous shirt? It is so pretty. And the brand on it is Natural Issue. I don't know. I've never seen this brand before, but it's a real nice quality. I don't know. Tell me what to do with this. Resell it as is for a men's shirt, refashion it for myself, or refashion it to resell. What should I do with this? All right, that's it for today, guys. Thank you for hanging with me. I know you can probably tell this is taking a few days. Only because I always have other stuff to do. But it did turn out super cute. I really, really do like it. The ruffle collar, I think I can make it better, to be honest. So I've got plenty of prototypes to mess around with. In the meantime, keep on sewing, and I'll see you later.